Hello everyone, my name is Peter Kim and I'm one of the solutions engineers at Plotly. So what I'm going to show you in this video today is how to integrate Dash apps with Databricks using Databricks Connect. And then we're going to deploy our Dash apps with Dash Enterprise and have it production ready. Okay. So why should anybody use Databricks with Dash? Well, that's because Databricks is built on Apache Spark, which is an open source distributed computing framework. So Apache Spark is really good at dealing with a lot of complex queries using big data computations because of its distributed properties. So as an example, if a Dash app was to aggregate and filter through 100 million rows of data, traditional approaches may take some time. And so thus, Dash can offload a lot of the processing to Databricks and focus on the visualization. So there are going to be three things we're going to need. Number one, we're going to need a Databricks account with a Databricks cluster and an access token. Number two, we're going to need a Dash application to work with and test. Number three, we're going to need Dash Enterprise to deploy to. So, with these things in mind, let's get it started. So here we have an instance of Databricks hosted on our AWS. And we're going to first start off by creating a cluster. So here on the left side, we're going to go to create cluster. I'm going to say Peter demo DBX. We're going to keep everything standard and hit create cluster. For this video, I just wanted to note that I do have a cluster already created, and I'm just going to simply use this. And then we're going to go to the top right corner here. We're going to go to user settings and access tokens, and we will generate a new token for us to use. So Peter demo DBX and hit generate. Cool. So we have some sort of a token here. We're going to keep that handy. And we're going to use it in a bit. And hit done. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our favorite terminal. And we will install Databricks Connect by hitting pip install Databricks Connect. And we're going to match the version that we have with our cluster. So I'm going to do 6.4. So as you can see, I've already installed it for some users. Once you go through pip install, and once it's done, we're going to come back. Okay? So once that's done, we're going to run Databricks Connect configure. Great. So I already initialized this, but I'm just going to switch out the tokens and keep everything the same so that we can use our new token that we just generated. So let's say right here, yes, I keep everything the same because I know it's right. And great. So after this, we're going to use Databricks Connect test to ensure that our version is working fine and that everything is great. We'll give it some time. So meanwhile, we're going to go to our Dash application. Right here. And so this is a typical Dash application as you would see. You would have imports at the top, you would have the app layout, and you would have some sort of function, or you're going to have some sort of callbacks that you would have to get an app working. So what I wanted to note is that after this installation is complete and when it's finished using Databricks Connect, we're going to ensure that we're going to import some of these modules of PySpark. We're going to import a Spark session, and we're going to import all of the functions that you may need to work with Spark. And so I've imported these features because I'm going to use it in a bit. And once that's done, within our Dash code, we're gonna import a Spark session. And this is important because Databricks Connect uses this to create a Spark session, and once you're processing all that stuff, it'll stay in that session and we can have access to it within our Python code. So let's see if our installation is done. Great, so it looks like everything's passed and it looks like it's all ready to go. Okay. So normally what I would do is I would go to a Databricks notebook. As you can see here, I would do some sort of a mock-up or some sort of an idea of what you want to write your code behind, and I'd write my PySpark code, I would test it, and I would see if that's all that's working, and then I would migrate all that code back into Dash, and I would have it right here. And so a lot of the code that I've written in the notebook here, I have migrated back to here, and as you can see here, boom, here's a lot of the filtering. And so once that application is done, we're going to run it. So this is hosted on desktop, DBX demo. Do we have it? Yep. I'm going to do Python. Okay. So as you can see, once the app loads, it'll talk to its Spark session, and it's going to take some time to load. So let's give it a couple seconds here, but after a bit, we should be able to see a application that we have built in right here. Let's give it a couple seconds more here. Great, so now that it's running, we load our applications, we see that it is working. You can see the commands that are being done by the Databricks cluster right here. And this is a lot of the filtering and a lot of the code that I've written so that we can generate a map. So we give it a moment, boom. So as you can see with this Dash app, what it's doing is that it's querying a lot of the Toronto establishments based on Yelp data. And so Databricks is filtering and parsing through a lot of that code. So it is about 200,000 rows of data. And so it is filtering. And so as you can see here that after the filtering process, we will get that data back and it's being rendered. So just to prove to you that I'm not lying, if I was to hit, let's say, that's Ontario, that's Toronto, that's Quebec, and that is Calgary. Let's see if I can only filter by Quebec. So if I was to hit submit, that should trigger another callback. And as you can see here, the Databricks cluster is being good to put to use. And as we have thought, boom, only the Quebec filter is loaded. Great. So now that we have integrated Dash with Databricks and some of its processing engine, we are gonna push this code to production on our Dash Enterprise. So let's go to our Dash Enterprise instance and initialize an app. Let's call it Peter Demo DBX, and we're gonna create. Just give it a second here, and then great. So what we're gonna do is, because I have a pre-existing app, I'm just gonna follow this process, this git process, and I will just simply add a git remote here. So because I have a previous existing git remote, I will set URL, plotly, and boom. Perfect. So now that's done, let's see if I have any files. Ooh, there are some files changed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy a Databricks Connect file, and I'm going to put it back here because some of the credentials might have changed. And so as we have created, as we have entered Databricks Connect, what this does is this creates a Databricks.connect file, as you can see right here, in your home folder. So we're going to copy the new credentials, Databricks Connect, and we're gonna put it into our app folder. Perfect. So now that's done. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna make all the changes. DBX demo. And we're gonna push to our remote right here. Push properly. Master. Sweet. So this takes some time because it has to initialize a Docker container. It has to download all the files. It's got to install a PySpark, Java, all that stuff. So let's give it some time. So after a couple of minutes of deploying, we're going to come back to our Dash Enterprise, and we're going to go back to our application. We're going to hit Open App, and let's see if our app has been deployed successfully. Great, let's give it a couple seconds here. So this is obviously the same application that we have in our local host, which we just see. So let's first see if everything's rendered correctly. As you can see, Toronto, Quebec, and Calgary. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we are going to filter out everything except for Quebec. And let's give it a second right here. And great. So that was very snappy and it was very quick. And so we hope to see everything. Great. So we see everything, gone except for Quebec, which is what we want. And so yeah, this looks really, really great. Now, for some of you are wondering if this all really happened. Well, there's a way to check. If we go to our cluster that we're working with, we go to Spark UI. As you can see, all the jobs that I've run in the past couple of seconds, and as you can see, these match what our commands are. And so I think this is really, really great, and I love this part about Databricks. And so this is one of the ways you can connect Databricks with Dash by using Databricks Connect. And so thank you so much for everybody for listening.